Yeah, so Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To salutations to the occupant of four winds, preaching in truth, sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold through their father. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. And yeah, so this is, this whole thing with Maui is compiling and adding. I did a lesson saying this is a Eden, right? Before you, and a desolate wilderness what behind you, right? Showing that the Lord is giving an example of how what's to come to America, right? Because Babylon the Great, right, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, right? This place that had was it Judah and Ephraim compressed together, right? So this place that people are finding out, they're known for taking the land and making and signing treaties and not keeping them, right? So now we're finding out about what they did to the Hawaiian queen, that they locked her in her castle and basically forced her to sign papers, treaties and things saying that, so basically so she could save her people, right? So we're finding out about this devil and who he is, but this thing is compiling, right, and showing you that the end of this devil is coming. So it says, wildfire, Maui's wildfire become latest fodder for disaster, right? And then conspiracies, right? And so these devils like to throw this out there as if there's no such thing as a conspiracy, as if people are not conspiring to do a certain thing. Anytime they pass those laws in Congress, that those are conspiracies, but conspiracies could either be bad or good. And for the most part, when it comes to these devils, it's always something evil behind the conspiracy, right? And then they always like to throw on theory, as if it's like, it's the conspiracy theorists, right? But it's saying, says one of the most outlandish. Yeah, that's what they want. This is how you know most likely this is true, because they have to throw that out there. Now it's just so ridiculous. It's just so outlandish. Theories is that the fire was caused by a secret energy weapon, which is talking about a laser beam, which they have. They've been showing you that. I did a lesson a couple years back showing that America has laser weapons. Russia has laser weapons. China has laser weapons. So what's absolutely outlandish about that? When you have these laser weapons, you have them. It's not outlandish just because you're not showing us every day. We know you have. You put it in the paper, showing that you have it. But the whole thing is, a lot of people don't read, and a lot of people don't look up things, or they'll put it in, deep back, in the back of the papers. Or, if they show it on TV, they show it on some way out channel. No one ever really goes by. You know what I mean? And this is how they push these narratives, right? So I thought that was pretty interesting because I didn't know what that father mean. So I was just like, what father?
Fodder.
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 Fodder. Yeah, I know how to say it. But basically, this proves that this is the elite, and it proves that this is just another way to try to laugh it off, or talk it away. Oh, that's just those conspiracy theories, people, right? When every so-called conspiracy theory that people have had end up being conspiracy facts, because there's a such thing as actual conspiracy, right? So it says, and this proves that this is those the elites, right? It says food, it says fodder, food, especially dried hay, right? Or feed for cattle or other livestock. And I don't know if you know what the elite always call the average person, you Americans, the things that they figure you're just peons, and you're nothing. They call you what? Cattle. They call you goyim. So even in the when you go back to the to the thing, it says fodder of this. Watch, let's see, because basically that's like another way of them saying that you're just goyim, you're just cattle. So yeah, now let's read this with some understanding of what father means, right? So it says Maui's wildfire becomes latest fodder, right? Which or goyim, right? Cattle for this disaster conspiracy theories. So basically, it's basically saying, okay, you goyim, this is the latest thing of these goyims, or these people that's just cattle. This is their latest for the disaster and their conspiracy theories. Ha 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 ha. So these are the elites throwing it out there like that, because they control the news people. They own the news stations. They own the media, right?
The Department of Defense spends about $1 billion annually developing directed energy weapons, such as high-energy lasers and high-power...
So, hey, this is a conspiracy theory. This is a conspiracy theory, right? The so-called goyim, or was it fodder? I don't know how you say it, but or fodder, which goes into cattle, which is basically like another way of saying you're goyim, you're nothing, right? Here you go with your conspiracy theories all over again. But here it is. They're saying that they have directive energy weapons, so it's not like this stuff don't exist.
And it might be the nicest diode laser I've...
The Department of Defense spends about $1 billion annually developing directed energy weapons, such as high-energy lasers and high-powered microwaves. These weapons can disrupt or destroy their targets at the speed of light. For example, DoD has developed high-energy lasers that have successfully...
At the speed of light. High-energy weapons at the speed of light.
shot down drones, but speed isn't their only advantage. They're also less expensive per use than traditional weapons like guns and missiles.
Wow.
Despite those potential advantages, DoD has had trouble getting these technologies out of the lab and into service. The Army has developed a detailed transition plan to support moving these weapons into the next stages of development. We recommended that the Navy and the Air Force develop similar plans.
Right. So it's in the military. Okay.
So directed energy, basically laser beams, All the services are interested in them. They've been interested in them for decades, going back before the technology was even available. In the most recent years, we've seen a lot of directed energy or laser projects geared at counter-drone options. The Army was equipping 5 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt, and larger and higher, more powerful lasers on Stryker combat vehicles for testing in Europe, and of course here in the continental United States. The Air Force did a 2018 counter-drone laser rodeo in White Sands missile range, where they tried a whole bunch of different options from vehicle to stationary mounted lasers to take out drones. That's pretty well known. But there's some new projects coming up that are quite interesting for the Navy and the Air Force that are pretty big. First one up is Thor, not the mythical Norse god of thunder, nor the Marvel Avenger character, but actually the tactical, high-powered operational responder. It's a prototype piece of equipment from the Air Force Research Laboratory that is essentially geared toward hitting multiple targets, sometimes simultaneously. That item is a laser, essentially, that would hit all kinds of drones, different ranges, different powers, different altitudes. It's obviously a prototype, so it's going to take a little while to get it off the ground, but it could help solve that big drone swarm problem that our strategists seem to be concerned with.
Yeah. Hey. Conspiracy theory. I don't know. I you got to keep saying that. I'm being a little facetious about the whole thing, but I mean, aren't they? Here they are. Oh, here they go with these. Development
and Research Project, or SPIDER. They have a sub-project I'm not even going to try to spell out called Arachne. You get the theme I'm concerned with. The next one's another Air Force project, pretty interesting, pretty sci-fi, and I'm not going to rely on memory here. I'm going to read the acronym myself. It is the Space Solar-Powered Incremental Development and Research Project, or SPIDER. They have a sub-project I'm not even going to try to spell out called Arachne. You get the theme. But essentially what it does is it takes solar power, 2 satellites that are going to collect that energy and then beam that energy through RF frequency to a forward operating base that will then collect it, transfer it back into power. So instead of having generators, convoys, all the fuel that you would need for that, you're literally getting your energy from the sun through a satellite. The next one is from the Navy. It is the Directed Energy Systems Integration Lab. Now, the lab broke ground earlier this year and is scheduled to open in December. It's essentially a lab built entirely around figuring out how to put lasers on ships, whether that's to hit drones, use weapons against other ships, maybe lasers for communications. There's all kinds of options. And this lab is actually going to have about a 36,000 square mile range for testing, and it's going to be testing all these different ideas, all these different concepts.
But like you've seen, that laser can shoot from outer space and shoot down. It can hit the, you know what I mean? But hey, you're just a conspiracy theorist. Though they have these, come on, man. And if you think the government got your best interest at hand, I mean, look what government means. In itself, the apostle always goes into it. Government means to rule over the minds, right? To rule the minds of the people, right? So they're not there to be your friend. They're just there to rule over you, and to control the narrative, because they have the so-called papers and the I don't know how many who will see this, but I'm just showing you there's proof that if you do see that, there's proof that they have the thing. So to call someone a conspiracy theorist, and they have it. And the government ain't been good, not to anyone, not even to themselves. You know what I mean? So, like the scriptures say, Yeah, so this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 14, verse 5. So like I was saying, like the scriptures say, he that is evil to himself, see, you self-proclaimed so-called white, you're not even good to yourself. You're not good to your own country, right? Who basically could control and print extra dollars and do this and do that and take your money off gold and silver so it can back it up, and then change it from that, and then do this and do that. You have all this way of actually making sure that your dollar is strong, but instead you go in debt, and then you go in debt with money that has actually no value, right? right? He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good, right? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. So you got a whole country and damn near running the whole world, and you're running the whole world into the ground, right? It says there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of the wicked. So you're gonna have a recompense to you.
There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and
There's none worse than he that envieth himself, right? And you're a bunch of different Edomites, which you're all one nation, but you all envy each other, right? You're gonna destroy. Hey, matter of fact, we gotta go into that too. Yeah. So yeah, like this is Matthew chapter 12, verse 26. And if Satan, right, which is our adversary, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, which is Esau, Edom, right, cast out Satan, right, another group of Edomites, right, which that's ultimately what they do. There's all these different Edomites that's out there, and they're basically envying themselves. Russia envies America, and America basically is the big bad bully in everywhere, and the rest of his other brothers hate him too for being. They're more pompous than them, right? More powerful, more arrogant than them. So Britain, France, all these other ones, they hate Americans, right? So they just envy each other, right? And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided, right? And that's ultimately what we're coming to. We're coming to the dividing of sunder, the dividing of one kingdom coming in, and the next one. I mean, one kingdom. Salakia, one kingdom is coming in, and the next kingdom going out. Salakia, right? Or one kingdom that's to be divided and to be destroyed, and there's a kingdom that's going to come after this is what? Taken down, right? Esau is the end of the world, so one is coming to an end, and Jacob is the beginning, which is the tabernacle of David, which is really the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai through his son, who he's going to give all reigns to. So it says, is divided against himself, how shall then his kingdom, which that's what these Edomites are living in, from one end of the earth even into the very end, to the uttermost parts of the earth, they're Edomites ruling over all the regular brown melanated people, telling them what to do. They are literally the stewards of the earth, of the world, right? But the Lord says that what? He's a wicked steward. So he's casting down laser beams, calling you goyim in another sense, or cattle, right? Ruling over everything. But then he's not good to himself nor his own people, right? He's not even good to his own cause, right? So how will his kingdom stand? And if by Beelzebub cast out devils, right? And that's ultimately what Esau is. Esau's like the offsprings, the what they call the spawn, right? The true spawn of Satan, right? Right? Beelzebub cast out devils, right? The liar, the deceivers, because that's what devil actually goes into: liar, deceiver, accusers, right? False accusers, and they're falsely accusing each other, And of course, you Israelites, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, right? Satan, which means adversary, your enemy, is always falsely accusing you, but they all always falsely accuse themselves, right? But then when you finally call out they BS, they go into, oh, just conspiracy theory. Just one of those nut cracks. And it's ha 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 ha. And let's move on. Why? Because government goes into what? Mind control. Right? They're controlling the minds of the people through their media. By whom do your children cast them out? Yeah. Because a lot of you Jakes are you're confused. You're such a partaker in Esau's kingdom, even when you're supposed to be about this so-called black power or whatever you be on. That's conducive to Esau's kingdom, though. Especially you being black, right? Because black being dead, void of light, void of understanding, and that's ultimately what you are. At the end of the day, you're void of understanding, right? You can't get this knowledge. Well, what are you talking about? The Bible? Oh, okay. The Bible's what brought us into slavery. Oh yeah. Well, that Bible is going to bring us out of slavery too. So, hey, a lot of you going to join that military. All that's, hey, 2/3 of Israel have to go. Right? Cast them out. Therefore, they shall be your judges. Right? Hey, man. Hey, pandemonium, chaos. It's finna happen because what? People are losing trust in this government. Yeah, so this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition amongst men. So what? It's going to be wars, right? Them going against the powers that be. Race wars, class wars, all sorts of wars. So it's not just going to be, nation against nation, right? Though nation against nation also goes into to race, going into race wars. So it's gonna be all sorts of things, sedition amongst men, and invading one another, right? They shall not regard their king. See, ultimately that's what's gonna happen. All these things, people are not trusting in the government anymore, the so-called government, because they realize this is all mind manipulation, and they like to just spin the narrative as if there's no the conspiracy, as if there's no freaking laser guns, as if there's no energy weapons. And we know that you're all about yourself. Everybody's already talking about it. You spend millions and billions over in this war with Ukraine, and then you only give the people who just lost their houses and everything, you gave them $700. And we're talking this land is about to be worth millions of dollars, and they're not going to have money to buy their land back. So it's gonna be something serious to see what's gonna happen, right? So yeah, invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their actions shall stand in their power, right? That's ultimately what's coming down. This is it's about to be all out helter skelter, and of course the elites know this, the government knows this is going to happen, so they're going to come up with the problem, the reaction, and then the solution, right? Which is the MOTB, right? Violence, because that's all Esau know, and slavery, because that's all he knows. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. See, that's dealing with, they're going to be locking down certain zones, certain places, if you ain't getting the charagma, You can't enter into this facility. You can't enter into this place, right? It says, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, right? A lot of people going through famine, going to be going through famine, all sorts of different troubles. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. See, so what end is it for you in the day for you women to have all this pride if men are going to be afraid? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And the modern day sword is the gun, right? And spoil, which means take, rob. Look it up. It means to take, to spoil, to rob. Their goods, right? Your goods, your water, your milk. Hey, even your woman is considered goods. Because of the lack of bread, right? Hey, you're going to have to come up off that food because money is going to be insignificant, right? Unless you got that charagma, right? Unless you got that karax, that engrapho for great tribulation, right? Because that's what's coming. When someone is not good to themselves, who would you be good to? Right? Satan is warned against themselves. What do you think is going to happen? Right? When they're done being angry with themselves and fighting amongst themselves, hey, their anger is going to be towards you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Right? Because it's always your fault that he's in the dumps. The Esau's at the bottom. And these regular small peon Edomites are going to be mad. And they got plenty guns and plenty bullets. Right? It is definitely going to take an act of Yahweh Bashim Shai, you know what I mean, of the Most High to intervene for you Jakes, man. And really, a lot of you ain't even going to be the elect. So, hey, man. See, this is the sedition amongst men, right? Right, because these are the things that's to come. Even this person says right here, whatever happened to paying cash, right? So they're going to take away the ability to be able to pay in cash. So when that happened, you're going to have the sedition amongst men, which they're giving you a small example of that right now. They're giving you a small example of the draconian laws and the measures that they're willing to do to push you into leaning upon them, trusting upon the system, what they did to the fires in Maui, right? So you're going to have to lean upon this government for food, shelter, and everything, right? Because this right here is a Whole Foods that's saying that you can't pay in cash. Right? So this begins a riot. Right? So this is just a small, minuscule level of that. Yeah, so this is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 19. And in that day shall there be an altar, which that's America. America's the altar, you know, just like Elder Karatasa said yesterday, that America's that altar. It says to Yahweh, which is the Most High, in the midst of the land of Egypt, which is talking about America, and a pillar at the the border thereof to Yahweh, right? And that's dealing with the elect. The elect is standing as a pillar, right? Standing firmly, stiffly on the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto Yahweh. So that's what we're doing. We're ultimately witnessing against Esau, Edom, his system, and America and their doings, right? Babylon the Great, right? Mystery Babylon, which is not a mystery anymore. The Lord of hosts, which is Yahweh of armies in the land of Egypt, which is America, right? Spiritual Egypt. For they shall cry unto Yahweh, right? Which that's the elect, because of the oppression. See, and that's ultimately with the riots and all the things that's gonna come. It's a cry because of all the oppression, the oppressors, all of the oppressors, and he shall send them a savior. See, and ultimately that's what has to happen, right? And a great one, right, which is Yahweh Shai, and he shall deliver them. In fact, what's the other one? Yeah, I'm gonna go up to Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2. See, before that happens, for the deliverance, he has to what? He has to, and I will set the Egyptians. Matter of fact, let's just start with because this is dealing with America and the burden of Egypt, right? Which is America, Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, right? The mother of harlots. Behold, which means look, feast your eyes, look upon. Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, which is talking about those chariots, but it ain't really. It's not Yahweh, it's Yahweh Shai. But through Yahweh Shai, the Lord is going to show forth his power. He's going to show forth his power through his son. So it's basically like a mob boss. If all these things come to, in Esau's system, say, the other guy, one of his hitmen get arrested, and they get him to flip and snitch. He could say, yes, he sanctioned me, or he told me to kill these people, and the mob boss will be arrested and trial for murder, as if he did it himself, because he had the power to send forth this man. And that's ultimately what the Most High is doing. He has the power to send forth his son to give you the judgment that you deserve. It's his power. It says, and shall come upon Egypt, right, which is America, and the idols of Egypt. And America has the ovalips from Egypt in Central Park. The ovalips, right? The thing that represents a man's rod in Central Park, right? Which America does a lot of that things of things that represent a man's rod. The Christmas tree. These are things. These are ABC, alphabet lifestyle that they push secretly right in front of your face through the guises of Easter bunnies and all these different fictional characters, right? All to get you to worship the Queen of Heaven, put the woman on. But while you're putting the woman, it's demasculating the men, right? Which bring forth these idols, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heat, in the heart of the Egyptian shall melt in the midst of it, right? So when all these riots and all these things, and especially when they see that huge flying mountain, right, which they call UAPs, and you're gonna see all the other flying phenomenons, which are the angels flying with Yahweh Shai, you're gonna be sorely afraid and scared. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, right? And that's the race wars, the riots, the things, the sedition amongst men, the things that's gonna take forth upon this earth. I'm gonna say Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall fight, every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom, right? And the spirit of Egypt shall fail, right? And it's failing now. Think about it. Christmas and all these different holidays don't have that same spunk that it used to have a long time ago. The one of the holidays that just passed was 4th of July. I remember the energy for 4th of July used to be way different. You know what I mean? You know, you really had fun. Like, you know what I mean? You come out and you play with the water balloons and things, and you're eating snow cones and or whatever. And you see a bunch of patriot flags, and you just see people just, hey, how you doing? Good morning. Like you just have that, but the spirit, the thing is failing. It shall fail in the midst thereof, which is already happening, but it's going to completely fail, and I will destroy the council thereof, which the Lord is doing that now, because they come up with all these different summits and these different things and different councils. Even this Kai Cernat, however you say his name, giving away the free so-called PlayStations and having people rioting and doing all sorts of things. Those are distractions, right? But the Lord said that He shall send forth fanners, right? And I will destroy the council thereof. And in the midst of the council, they have to send a lot of distractions for you peons, and they shall seek to the idols, right? Because eventually, when everything goes down, you're going to be seeking to call on Jesus, and that person don't exist, right? The letter J is only 400 to 500 years old. So who the hell are you calling upon, right? Made up, bugged out things, right? And to the chambers, right? You're gonna go to these churches. You're gonna be seeking for help. I mean, just like the War of the Worlds, right? The first original one, right? Which Apostle Gabar spoke about, and I went and bought it, and it shows that all these people, when the time that the chariots came and was zapping people, these people ran to the churches, but they wasn't safe in those harlot houses, and they got zapped. And then the only church that didn't get destroyed was the one that had a true depiction of Yahweh Shai. Even though it got shot at, none of the people died, and it didn't really move the structure. I mean, they made the image of Yahweh Shai fall, shatter into pieces. But the structure of the building, and none of the people died that were in Yahweh Shai, that strong tower, that name that you run into. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it, right? So it says, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to wizards, right? Because this is what this kingdom is all about, right? They're just a bunch of wizards. And so this thing has to be destroyed. Yeah, so this is Romans chapter 8, verse 38. It says, for I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, right? Because it's dealing with the principalities and the powers, was dealing with these elites, these Rothschilds, the Bilderbergs, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, right? The Gettys, right? Or all these super elites, right? Neither present or things to come, because there's more things to come. This is all just the beginning, right? Yeah, this is Romans chapter 14, verse 5. One man esteemeth one day above another, right? You may have, this day, this was one of the greatest days of my life, this and that, whatever, Back in 19 these were the good old days, or whatever, however people, they get down, say all these things. Another esteem every day alike. Man, hey, you say that to people, hey man, what you going? Just another day. Just another day. No, they steam it all alike, right? Let every man, whichever way you look at it, half empty, your glass half empty, half full, however you look at it. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. You got to be persuaded that this is the truth of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? It says, I know, I am persuaded by Adawanya, Yahweh Shai, that there is nothing unclean of itself, right? But to him that esteemeth anything to be unclean, it is unclean. So you're thinking things is unclean, then it is. It's unclean. Then that means you shouldn't touch it. You shouldn't get down with it, right? Right? You think we're telling lies? You think that we're just out here giving you the gospel and warning you for no reason? But if my brother be grieved with thy meat, right? And a lot of times, you know, the meat goes into to the doctrine that you're giving them. You know what I mean? Because this word is meat too in itself. Now walkest thus not charitably, destroy not him with thy meat. Hey man, hey, let him go. Hey, a great wise man said that even his elder said, if Jake can't get it, we're moving on, right? For whom Hamashiach died, man. Yahweh Shai died to give you this truth, right? So if you don't want to accept this truth, you don't got to accept this truth. But there's going to be plenty of people who's going to die in the destruction and the riots and the things that's going to come upon this place. And come back right here to Romans 8 and 39. Neither height nor depth, man, ain't nothing going to separate. I'm fully persuaded, man. Nothing's going to separate me. Neither height nor depth nor any other creature, right? No other being a creature. You know what I'm saying? A wild beast is going to stop me from believing, hey, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai got me, man. I'm safe. I'm secure in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High, which is in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, or out of one, right? I mean, that's our power, man. That's our Lord. You know what I'm saying? The love of the Most High is in Yahweh Shai, man. And Yahweh Shai is our refuge, man. He's our Savior. The Lord's looking at him, right, in order to save us, right? I think even one of these Christian church people said that it's almost like when the Lord's getting ready to kill you, Yahweh Shai stands in front of you, like almost like he's taking the bullet for you, or he's saying, hey, no, not this guy, right? So that's how you get that Pazak, that Passover, right? Because now the blood of Yahweh Shai is upon you, right? Yeah, so it's Isaiah chapter 54, verse 17. No weapon, right? Because they're coming with all these different, things to distract you or to get you afraid. Oh yeah, you can't come into this store. We don't accept cash anymore. And then all the way into the time of the charagma being fully pushed, right? Afraid that you're not going to be a part of society. Because it's saying they're being blunt with it, saying that if you don't have this, you won't be part of society, right? So you can't be afraid. No weapon formed against me, against thee, shall prosper, and every tongue, right? Because the accuser of the brethren, right? The false accuser of the brethren, he's out there. He's out there to accuse you. He's out to make things seem as if the Israelites are violent, right? Mix us in with that crowd of degenerate Jakes who go out there and riot over PlayStations or riot at the store because you can't get in. We're not worried about those things, man. We're trusting in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. We ain't trusting in no store. We ain't trusting in Esau, right? It says, that shall rise against thee in judgment, because that's ultimately what they're doing. Man, they're rising against us, what? In judgment, right? And thus shall condemn, right? Because the elect is going to condemn them. Lord willing, we be those elect, man. Me and the brothers that's with us, and then you brothers that's out there in the four winds preaching the truth in sincerity, right? Right? Called, chosen, and faithful. Chosen is the key thing, and being faithful, you know that comes with it. This is the heritage, right? Because what? We were born Israelites, but we're also what? Israelites by the Spirit, not just by the flesh. Not a born Israelite, but you're a goddamn heathen in your mind, your mental, rioting over PlayStations and all these different things, the things of the world, of the servants of Yahweh, right, which is the Most High, and their righteousness is of me, right, which our righteousness is of actually Yahweh Shai now, all right, saith Yahweh. Because now our righteousness is in Yahweh Shai. So the Lord said, we're going to condemn all these devils when we come back in those new bodies. We're going to condemn you. So no weapon formed against us. So all these things that's happening, it's all happening so you can get your judgment. So why are we afraid? We're not. Yeah, so with all that, I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakal Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. Salutations to the Akim and the Four Winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and a Bible ball.